Hello and welcome to the Limitless Podcast. Thanks for being here. Hello to all of you. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you being on this podcast. I know that you're on this podcast because we share some similar values in some way. You are a personal growth junkie, I am sure. But even though I don't know who you are, I want to thank you for being a part of this podcast because I know you in my spirit for sure. And thank you for sharing this podcast with others. That really gets the word out about the podcast. And it just fills my heart to see how other people are now listening. This podcast is growing. And thank you for all of you who reached out to me last week. You downloaded the podcast early in the morning and you noticed it was not my voice on the other side. We had a little faux pas as someone else's podcast was downloaded as me, and we couldn't have been completely opposite people. So thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that so much. But as businesses, we're always going to have something that happens and you just have to go with it and laugh it off. And that's exactly what we did. So excited for another episode of this podcast. And for those of you who are new to this podcast, I want you to know that this podcast is all about mindset. We dive deep into mindset, and we dive deep into the mindset that keeps you from fully embracing who you are, living your greatest, best life. And when you really are able to uncover how you are operating from spaces and narratives that are not your truth, you can unlock true freedom and the success that you really desire. And that's what I'm here to share with the world. It's all about your subconscious thinking. Every relationship in your life is somehow related to your subconscious thinking. I want to share with you a story today, a very personal story. Lessons I learned from my almost 2-year-old grandson. And he was with us for 5 days. And I know in the work that I do that every relationship is here to teach us something. And boy, did I learn some powerful, powerful lessons through Levi in those 5 days. That was so enlightening in so many ways. And I wanted to share them with you because I know if you're a part of this podcast, you will likely recognize one or two of these within you. So I call this podcast Lessons from Levi. This poor child doesn't even know that he's already making a difference in the world just by his little demeanor. So, it was a very different stay for me. And I do this with all of my grandsons. I don't have that grand girl yet, but I do this with all of my grandsons. I really go into what I call Coco mode. So I'm not a grandma, I'm not a granny, I'm not a Mima, or I'm a Coco. And I go into full on Coco mode. And what that means is I'm really focused on being present, really focused on not being distracted by the things that I was distracted with as a young mother myself, the groceries, the laundry, the house cleaning, picking up, etc. And I've shared this before on previous podcasts, no shame or guilt here to those of you who are still rearing your children. There are chores that have to be done while you're rearing your children. You absolutely cannot be present at all times. It's impossible. And that was me as a young mom as well. But when you are a grandmother, when you are a Coco, you can temporarily set some things aside. And I'm so grateful that I'm an entrepreneur that works from home. I can put away the laundry for a while. I can put away some of the things that I do in my job for a little while and be fully present. So I was fully present with him the entire week. And I had many plans to be outside, plans to ride in his wagon, plans to go to Walmart and pick out some toys, park dates, all kinds of things that I had planned. Well, the weather had a different idea for us, which is completely fine. It rained the entire week. So we were only able to go to one park, and the rest of the time we spent inside playing. And I know it was divinely orchestrated because here are where the lessons came. I will tell you that being cooped up in the house all day with a 2-year-old, I had a hard time sitting still the first day. And my mind kept wandering into different things like, how am I going to keep him entertained? You don't have that car ride to go to the park that takes up a time slot of the day, you have to be really ready to move on to the next thing when you're in the house. So I really had a hard time just sitting still. But by day 2, I was fully immersed. I was fully immersed. We would absolutely sit on the floor for hours and play. And I love how a 2-year-old is able to do that. Just sit and play and do things over and over and over and practice things over and over and over. For my young grand boys, I gave them all this subscription box called Loverly Toys. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. If you haven't, I would highly, highly recommend. It's a subscription that you get based on their age, and it's sent to you in a subscription. And they are absolutely his favorite toys. Like I keep them in the box that they come in. They are literally so well made. I'm going to pass them on to other grandkids. They're so well made. And he has loved every single one of them. So we basically went from box to box, and we would box hop, and he would figure out all the puzzles. He would do all of the little things for his age group, etc. And then we'd move on to the next. And obviously I had to have a little schedule for him. Kids need to be scheduled. I need to be scheduled. So there were times when I could tell he was getting a little tired of playing. So we would sit down and watch a video, Elmo, Miss Rachel, and so forth. And then we would read and we would play in a tent, or I would help him practice walking up the stairs 50 times, not even joking, just over and over and over. We would dance, we would jump. We did all kinds of fun things. So setting that up to give you the lessons. So here's what I learned during this time with Levi. The first thing I learned is how often do we as adults allow ourselves to play, to get into our imagination? He was fully in his imagination the entire week. I could see that little brain just working. He was in full creatorship mode, mastering his gifts and his confidence. He was mirroring every single thing that I would do because he wanted to learn how to do it. So we are the mirrors for them, but they are the mirrors for us just as much. And that's why I learned so much from him. So he was fully in his imagination. So I want you to think about how often you sit and play, or you sit and just write and imagine. Use your imagination to create your future. Use your imagination to create something. How often do we do that? The second thing was he would do things over and over and over until he understood. He never gave up. He might have gotten frustrated, but he would ask for help, but he never, ever, ever gave up. He never gave up. How often, when we feel that frustration because something isn't going right in our business, that we want to give up? How often do we go to learn something new and we get frustrated and we give up? How often do we do that? I'm very guilty of that. And that's why this struck me so much with this 2-year-old lovely doll. Number 3, he loved structure. He needed guidance, a system to steer the ship, but routine is very important. And we need that routine as well. Do you have one? Do you have a routine? Do you wake up in the morning and these are the things that you do? Do you make your bed? What do you do next? Do you make your lunch? What is your routine? What is your night routine? What is your evening routine? What are your habits? We need a routine as much as he does as a 2-year-old. We need that routine. So we all need to go back and emulate that 2-year-old version of ourselves. We need to emulate that. They are operating. I want you to understand that a 2-year-old is operating from a place of pure consciousness. There is no conscious reasoning at this age, because between the ages of 0-7 is where the programming comes in. So there's no conscious reasoning. They don't get into their head. They're fully in their heart, in their play mode, in their imagination mode. and their full creatorship, full creatorship. It was almost like he was playing a game of infinite possibilities that didn't faze him that he couldn't have infinite possibilities. It was like he was playing a game. Like, I'm going to master this and I'm going to get really good at this. I'm going to continue to work on this and I'm going to master this. I'm going to master this game. I'm going to master this puzzle. I'm going to master this book over and over and over. He was playing a game. There is no programming at this age. He had no doubts holding him back. He felt fully free to express his emotions. He felt fully free to communicate what he needed. Fully free. He had no knowing inside of him that said he was incapable of mastering something. There was nothing in there that said that. That's why he continued to do it over and over and over. There's absolutely nothing inhibiting his creative nature through his imagination. Life, our life today as adults inhibits ours. It inhibits our imagination. Life, the busyness of life, the inability to sit still. And listen, the inability for us to sit with ourselves for a certain time, the inability for us to have self-care. Life inhibits our creative nature. There was nothing, absolutely nothing stopping him from creating and expressing himself as the infinite creator that he is, because his consciousness was pure and unconditioned. Pure and unconditioned. He had no limitations. He wasn't thinking rationally or realistically from a place of fear or doubt. I want you to think about that. He had no fear or doubt. So why is this so important? And I'm going to give you something that was so profound to me. And I want you to really think about this. I want you to ponder on this. Levi is not even 2 years old. He has not even been away from God for 2 years. He knows who he is. Divine, limitless, and wildly capable of all things. And I want you to know this is who you are as well. Before your subconscious programmed you, before your subconscious was programmed through your environment, through your peers, through your parents, through your neighbors, through your church, through politics, through anything in the world, this is who you are. And I want you to remember who you are. Just like a child, you are powerful, you are free, you are happy, and you are loving. Just like a child, there's a place within you that is free of fear of judgment. Just like a child, there is a place in you that has zero limitation, zero limitation. And just like a child, there's a place in you who doesn't fear what people think. Remember when I said it was like Levi was playing a game of infinite possibilities that didn't even faze him that he couldn't. What if we are still playing the game? What if we're still playing the game? You are. You are still playing the game of life. But now it's through the conditioned mind who thinks the game is not fun, who has no imagination, happiness, and does not have unlimited possibilities. You think there's limitations on you. It's serious. It's one full of fear and doubt and limitation. And I want to invite you that it's time to stop the illusion of who you think you are. It's an illusion backed by subconscious programming of lack and limitation. That's all it is. Play the game from a place of a 2-year-old. Play the game. That 2-year-old is still in you. That 2-year-old who has unlimited possibilities in this lifetime. That 2-year-old who does not fear judgment. It's time to step out of that illusion, my friend. Uncondition your consciousness. It's time that you play the game that you once did. It's time. And when you are ready to do that work, it will change your life forever. Thank you, Levi, for the lessons. May they spread across the world and change the lives of all of us who are playing the game as an adult instead of playing the game as a child with untapped, limitless potential. I love you and I believe in you. See you next week.